Hilda, good ban, last ban on the Hayabusa for Egypt. Respectively, if well at the same time, the Hayabusa would have been a good early pickup, knowing that the Hilda's already gone. If I'm Indonesia, surprised, maybe even consider drafting in a high loss as a first pick right now. You saw how comfortable you were with that pick. You saw, we saw how surprising you could be. But then at the same time, Alpha high loss is still open, so maybe they want to play that trade. With Matilda gone, they might even consider a fan first pick, like a rush right away. Also options that they can go for.
What about the Phobias?
Well, he's great too.
I think Phobias might be a hot pick here, but they go for the Suyo first. For Indonesia, Egypt, if they want to, they could go for the Alpha. It's a lot more safer. It's something that Sunlight does play as well. But it looks like Gatot is going to be picked up here in first, as well as the Phobia. So two of those picks come through. And there's one thing to note as well. I know it's not going to pop out, but one thing I saw quite interesting was they picked up a Beleric earlier.
Yeah. Ooh.
Egypt.
Okay, that might be an option. Let's see. But if this is going to be an Eve pickup for Indonesia, yeah, you get Beleric in that scenario. He's going to get poked down. Not going to be a good time for him. You already see the Phobias. The Gatot Gacha might make you doubt an Eve pickup. But I still want to see them consider it. Still go into the high loss so that they have things to fight under. There's one. If this isn't the high loss, maybe they go ahead then. Oh, they actually go ahead and pick up the Harith now. I'm one of those types of people that don't have a lot of problems with fighting, with playing a Harith under a Phobias, even though that does give him a lot of a cooldown reduction with the dashes coming out from the Harith. It's okay by me. It's okay by my book. Egypt, I'm thinking if they're brave enough to consider an Eve, because the Harith will then be fighting under the real world manipulation, but with the high loss and the Suyo, the static nature of the Eve lineup might be a little bit too difficult. They can go for eye control. Aurora third pick is usually a surprise. They can also pick up their gold later now, so they don't have to worry about it. They can go the Nathans, they go for Magic, yeah, but it's in the mid. They just go ahead and rock out with the Sicilian. This is Egypt acknowledging that they could actually potentially lose early to mid, and they might be playing for mid to late.
Let's see if it even gets to that point, right? Because so far we've been getting really short games. 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes. I think at most we had a 14-minute game.
Yeah, that was literally the match before this.
So the big question is, will the Sicilian be able to pull through the early to mid-game pressure that we've seen the Sicilian, just really have to pummel through? He does get banned though, so Egypt's still not taking chances despite them already picking up the Gatot Kacha.
Yeah.
Do you think the Sicilian could be flexed in? No, right?
We don't see it enough in actual pro play. We see it in scrims. It's a theory being worked, but Sicilian in mid is the most likely outcome. If ever anyone else is going to put the Sicilian elsewhere, it might actually be in the gold lane. But laning up against Harith, the fact that I don't see it enough, it might be a little bit of a struggle.
What do you think about Natan against the Harith in the gold lane?
I think usually that's one of the things people go for. If it's not the Lunox, it's the Nathan. I still pick a Harith in most scenarios, but Nathan, as long as once you hit level 4, you play around the trading of the Zaman Force and the Entropy well, you should be able to manage it. Not necessarily like absolutely beat down the Harith unless a Harith made a major error, dashing the wrong time or got a little bit too close, even though the Nathan still has the pushback with the second skill. Those are the little things that you look up for in that trading matchup.
So that's something that we should keep an eye out for still, because Egypt, they've been loving the Natan so far, right? They've won their games with the Natan in the gold lane. So I'm wondering whether or not Indonesia will actually respect that away. But for now, we do see Egypt taking out the Vexana, so the Aurora is actually still on board.
Yeah. Aurora later for Indonesia. They have a lot of crowd control to deal with. I wonder if they're willing to play a Valentina into a Sicilian. I mean, with the presence of the Phobias and the Sicilian, you wouldn't want to do that. But then there are some Valentinas who are like, oh, go ahead, put me into the field, coach. I'm going to take away his bats feast anyway, so it's totally going to be fine. But with the jungler for Egypt not being shown yet, they take away the Alpha. If ever there is a chance, it is now time for Egypt this time to potentially show their own fanny game.
Mulan ban, okay.
All the major assassins gone outside of the magic damage Julian.
Exactly, so what's Sunlight gonna play?
Yeah, you're not gonna Lancelot in this scenario. If you have a Fanny, go Fanny.
She's played Karina Frederick.
Uh-oh.
And Roger.
Oh, Egypt might actually have run out of jungle picks, because Indonesia still has a possibility of picking up a show for Vivian.
And that would be disastrous.
Yeah.
I mean, is Exborg an option against the Suyo?
Well, Egypt thinks it is.
Yeah.
Egypt thinks it is. I think they're leading into the idea that Indonesia will probably be picking a roamer that is a little bit more frontline. Maybe maybe they've already also decided that, okay, there's going to be a high loss going forward. But with the high loss Rio that's high invade, Egypt's mid-roam duo doesn't scream protect to me. Not to say that the Exborg is not going to be able to get farm. I think Indonesia can actually just pester the Exborg rotation. Go Aurora here if you can. A little bit more control would help with dealing with the Gatot Kacha. Increasing your chances, but nope, it isn't going to be a choke. It's still a choke. Even though, like, no, we don't need to see an assassin, just go ahead, get Vivian on their choke, and you go for the low E. Very well rounded for Indonesia. Great for team fighting, great for macro, with the presence of the low E.
Especially, they also have control over the mid prio, right? The Wu Yi and the Cho. The Cho, despite everything else that you mentioned, also did a good wave clear. The Wu Yi, a hard lane bully against the Sicilian. Very good early game damage as well. It feels like everything's rounded up for Indonesia. How will Egypt answer this? They have one more role to fill, which should be the gold lane.
Yeah.
Would you look for a winning lane for your gold lane matchup? Is that how you win this?
Yeah. Try and do that with a Clint. Or rather, it's Ireland into the Iron. Clint actually should be able to fare relatively okay. They have 2 damage, they have magic damage. They went physical with the gold lane. Oh. Again, I'm worried about the center of the map for Egypt. With the show, with the low Yi, with the Suyo. Egypt needs a lot of focus on the center of their map. Somehow, some way, they got the catch.
Purify. Well, technically you can. It's optional, but you always just want to go Flicker, and that's what Names has.
That's what Names is going to have to do. She's going to have to use that Flicker right on point because Vivian's going to be on the hunt. Welcome to the Land of Dawn again. A matchup, now 3rd live stream match for our 2nd and last day of groups. Indonesia obviously still at the top here working on things. We'll see if Egypt can do anything here. A lot of pressure early on. This is what we expected.
Very scary. Sunlight. The highlight to be used by FumiEcho. They're actually going to chase her down all the way inside the jungle. 3 members rotating in. Some damage placed on the FumiEcho. Vivian will escape, and no way. FumiEcho popping a regen. Vivian rotating as well. City getting level 2. And now getting that reaction stops him from getting the kill over to FumiEcho. Oh no. Gucci left the mid lane, couldn't get level 2, and now they're just so far behind.
I want to say calculated. I feel like that was calculated from Indonesia. They knew that limit they could test, and they were able to do that. Vivian also burned the Flicker there, I believe. So she burns that, but really a lot of pressure. I didn't expect that early on for them to even get away with it. Like, it was like, all right, they are going to actually put some pressure on this export, but to be able to get a kill and then escape with no damage done, that was the surprising part of it. So with this, now Egypt kind of trying to get back in position here. Imagine all of that just happened. Gives a 1K lead this early on under the 2-minute mark.
It's a big problem to have here for Egypt, because if we take a look at all the matchups that we've seen for the export, usually it's very easy for the export to fall behind in the early game, right? So the fact that he's still level 3 and FumiEcho is already walking forward, Virago armor down, Vivian looking for the Jikudo, but just without the Virago armor, Stun coming in with the Sanguine Claws there, trying to peel for Vivid, but Vivian won't just go, and Jikudoer to get the 2nd kill of the game already. 2nd kill on Vivian too.
Vivian's the carry here, man. She's got 2 kills already on this Cho pick that, anytime it does come up in competition, you always love to see the Cho just because of what the capability of this hero is, but then you get an early lead like this and it's a huge confidence boost already on a hero that a lot of these prominent pro players already have, So you get to even go a little bit further with this and expect a lot of kicks going the right direction, at least in the hands of Vivian here. She's already, even when she's at 1/3 of the health, she's still going to just kind of show face and put some pressure here. That Unbreakable won't land, unfortunately. So really going back to it, it's like this. Oh no, hold on.
Virago armor already very low from Sunlight. FumiEcho still trying to just mount the doors back. Vivo did get the steal. Little pursuit to the back. I believe Vivo was able to get the steal with a Retribution. Sunlight couldn't get that retreat down in time, and FumiEcho soaking all of this damage. Vivo knows there's no mana, goes for the stun. Some damage to Gucci, very low. Flicker from Cine. No, she actually didn't use the Flicker. She's got that gap closed over. Unfortunately, no Yin Yang reaction to get the kill, but still, it's a massive lead just with 2 kills.
This is the problem with it too, is just, having the diversion anytime it's available, you're going to be left guessing, where are they going to come from? And part of that too is just, even if you send with a diversion Vivian through that and then gets a kick into the team, or you get cut off with a Glorious Pathway, these are very difficult things to deal with for Egypt. They are trying to maintain that gold lead from getting too out of hand. Here's the diversion we were just talking about. Up top here. They're going to have to help this out. Vivian giving the information as well. Names. They're left to defend here.
Way to Dragon, only onto Vivian. I don't think they want to go for the commitment there. Vivian lit off on the targeting, will be punished under the turret.
Good punish. Able to get down again. This is one of the things we usually see with a Cho pick. If you can kind of punish that and they don't get the kick they're looking for, or they get caught into a choke point, it's obviously going to be great. Good usage here once again, trying to port this off. The turtle is up though. They're going to go ahead and try to get an advantage here. Sunlight's been having a hard time, but they will take a couple shots.
Vivo Caught in the Sanguine Claws up top. Force almost a solo kill from Joko. But Force again. Names still able to survive there. Now back to the turtle fight. Sanguine Claws land on the Mobi Echo. The Inferno Pursuit there to AOG. Good revitalize, but it's not going to be enough to keep her alive. Turtle. Control for Egypt. Vivian walking up with Jikudo. Inferno Pursuit over to the back. Vivian caught again for the pursuit on her city. Force of Flicker out the last 70, but Vival just wins out the retreat battle. 2 levels ahead. As now Egypt will have to run away. Vival, great stun over. Nucci to be knocked out by the Jikudo. Yeah, reaction, and the Soul Sever gets a double. Only Vivian traded there in the mid lane.
That's what I would call worth, you know, on the Jikudo, able to get 2 on the knockup, and then a double kill for Vival. City's in a little bit of trouble. Velvet, though, trying to keep them at bay. He's still working on the mid turret, too. But Vival will be fine, even with that Soul Sever. So, again, this is just showing, you know, it was great. Like, Egypt showed actually some pretty good fight in that turtle, but unfortunately weren't able to kind of extend the luck in their favor throughout the fight. Fumi Echo has been doing this the whole time on this Hylos, just whittling down Velvet. Even under the turret, gonna drop the pathway. Velvet, solo, whoa! Solo kill for Fumi Echo.
Down below Vivian. Way the Dragon, Shell Bomb as a Mon Forest now locked down. Even with the Revitalize, the Soul Sever claims the kill. The hotfix was for objectives, but for heroes, it's still the same old Soul Sever.
I was gonna say, did they do something to that hero, to that damage?
Just the objectives.
Just the
objective
objectives.
damage, not hero damage. Hero damage is still all good, man. It's still
Maybe they need to think about that.
Oh no, diversion. Names has gotta be careful. She's going and farming. I believe she is aware of the situation, so good read from Names.
Good read out here. Finn also picking up the Thunderbell right now. Okay, they're gonna be fine. That turret does go down though. Up top.
Okay. I was about to say Names got the read, but what about Feb? Walks up there. Wait, it's right in the flicker. Vivian with a combo.
Ooh.
And the AOG comes down, but it's not going to help Names escape, even with the flicker. Vivian all alone, now isolated. It's a 4-man knockup from Velvet, but there is absolutely no way she follows up with the Inferno Pursuit there.
Yeah, tough. Again, it's just, you know, even when you get the information that they are setting up on that top side, it's so hard to play in for the fact that, you know, we're already talking a good, comfortable lead. You know, when you get to this point and you start to see more of that testing coming through from Indonesia on what they're capable of doing, how much damage they can chunk out, or how much damage they can take even, it's hard to fight here in the mid lane.
Sunlight already very low, still able to escape for now. No Praga armor, knows about Force all the way to the back. Nucci still escaping now as the Inferno Pursuit gets used up. City with a flicker, but it's going to follow through. Velvet unable to get the last shot down and will be punished for overextending by just a tad bit.
I can't believe Zinni even survived that. I expected her to go down at least with the Infernal Pursuit from Velvet, but, you know, not enough just yet. And that's why we always talk about when teams get to this point where they have that, you know, 4,000 or 5,000 gold lead, that does play a part because there's a lot of instances when you have that kind of gap in terms of economy that it should be a kill, but because you lack that firepower to finish them off, you know, Egypt in that case weren't able to. So they lose that turn in the mid lane. They're going to have to deal with this diversion used once again. Now the focus here on the tier 2, on that top lane. That's where they want to put the pressure here. Egypt to respond, falling further behind. We're still a minute away from this Lord. Oh, Velvet.
Started up, on Force, the AOG will come down on the Phobius there, but Shell is going to be able to purify out of that, still getting the free hits with the Savant Force. Fraga armor, what happened to mid-lane assassination from Vivo? Yang reaction connecting all the time. Fuzman trying to run away right now with the Glorious Pathway into the back. Nucci will be stunned, and now it's another stun from Vivo. She is unstoppable, and it's a 4-for-0 trade. Only Sunlight left to survive.
This Suyo hero, man, is still just a thorn in the side of many teams that have to go against it. Especially when you have the setup this way, and every single time we see this work so well is when you have a Hylos in your favor, a Hylos to go ahead and cut people off with the Glorious Pathway. And now that you pick up a Malefic Roar, Vival's going to do even more damage, but the surprising thing there is look at that damage coming out from this Luo Yi. This is why they like to run the Warcry Emblem too. You get that little extra percentage boost of damage, you just pop off the Yin Yang, the yin-yang connections, and then it's good. You know, those interactions alone are enough to change the course of a fight. So now the Lord is up here. There's no contest. This is just going to be a Lord in the hands of Indonesia. So we have to think, what does Egypt do here? On this defense, You know they have a Sicilian. We know this is a late game hero that can actually do pretty well defending, turtling up in a base. But I think this might be a little bit too early for them to do that here.
Yeah, Vivian also picks up the immortality, but I like what you said, man. Honestly, for Egypt, they can't contest anything. The diversion is always going to be able to catch them as well. And
There it is.
there you go, just as I say it, diversion to the back. And Nucci, way to Dragon connects onto her. Still good displacement from Velvet AOG to peel away and to escape. Maybe we'll lose her immortality, but it's still just a Joe who lost immortality. Chill. Unfortunate targeting. Didn't get that synchro vision down into Nucci. Vivel wants to go for the snipe, but will not be in range. Still, though, they have a Lord to play with in the bottom lane, a tier 2 to take in the mid lane, and surely after all that, they will take it away. Holy defense still intact. Egypt will be able to clear off the wave. City doing a whole lot of damage to the Faraga armor. Sunlight losing out of the Faraga armor. Forced back again.
So they keep it together. They got a whole lot of battle spells out, though. That's 2 of the revitalizers also down for Egypt. So they're going to have to do this. That ultimate from the Avatar of the Guardian should be up for Fiven. They got to deal with this Lord. They still have that Holy Shield on the bottom side, but these waves, look at the managing on the top and the mid here.
Look at the Faraga armor. It's down again. Vivian. It's not that good seals. Looking for an angle to possibly go for the way to Dragon. She does have to flicker through. The reaction just keeps on hitting on Sunlight, on Velvet, and that's why she is topping the damage leaderboard. Shell walking up. Vivel getting a turret up top. 2 base turrets taken down out of nowhere with the first Lord.
Really difficult position to be in for Egypt here. 2 base turrets going down in the first Lord. And a massive gold lead right now for Indonesia. The biggest thing they can do is just hope to extend the game somehow, some way, to get enough stacks here for Nucci, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Uh-oh, glorious pathway in the sun. One more reaction, and City fights into the back. Vivel gets rid of the immortality for Sunlight. Vivian is next as Chell. This goes rampant into the back with the Zaman Force. Another stun from Vivel. Even with the last insanity, it will not take anyone down. Vivian goes in with the Hiku, no finding the way to Dragon. Names with a flicker to try to escape, to try to make the miracle happen. But the comeback will surely not happen here. It was too big of a lead. Indonesia still unstoppable in the group stage.
Still clean as ever, Indonesia. Once again, the tournament favorites here, showcasing another iteration of a lineup that does everything it needs to from early to mid. I mean, it's to a point is exactly